I never planned for it to happen. That night was supposed to be just another ordinary evening. I had been working late at the small cafe where I was a waitress. The air outside was cold, and the streets were quiet. When I finally finished my shift, I felt exhausted. I wrapped my thin jacket tighter around myself and began walking home. That's when I saw him. He was standing by the roadside, near a sleek black car. The car was expensive, the kind had only seen in magazines. He was tall, dressed in a tailored suit, and his face was handsome but tired. His eyes carried the kind of weight that only comes from years of wealth and loneliness. At first, I thought he was just another customer from the cafe. But when our eyes met, something strange happened. It was like the whole world paused. He smiled faintly, almost sadly, and asked, "Do you know where I can find a place to eat at this hour?" I stuttered, nervous. Everything around here is closed now. Except maybe the 24-hour diner down the street." He chuckled, his voice low and smooth. "Perfect. Would you join me? I don't really like eating alone." I froze. Why would a man like him, rich, elegant, clearly out of my league, invite me, a tired cafe waitress, to dinner? But something in his eyes pulled me in. Against my better judgment, I agreed. The diner was half empty. Fluorescent lights buzzed above, casting a pale glow on the cracked leather booths. He ordered steak and coffee. I just asked for fries and water, too shy to pick anything else. We talked. At first, it was small things: how long I had lived in the city, where he was traveling from. Then, little by little, he shared more. He told me his name was Adrian. He was the son of a wealthy businessman, now running the empire himself. Hotels, real estate, stocks. Things I couldn't even imagine. But despite all his wealth, he confessed he was lonely. Surrounded by fake smiles, gold diggers, and friends who weren't really friends. Something about the way he said it made me ache inside. He seemed untouchable. But in that booth, he was just a man craving honesty. When I told him about my life, I expected him to laugh. I was poor. My father had left when I was a child. My mother worked 2 jobs just to keep us afloat. I had no fancy degree, no dreams beyond surviving each day. But Adrian didn't laugh. Instead, he leaned closer, listening, as though my story mattered more than anything. "You're stronger than you realize," he said softly. And those words hit me hard. Harder than I expected. Hours passed. When we finally stepped out of the diner, the night was darker, quieter. The air smelled like rain. He offered to walk me home. I wanted to say no, but something in me said yes. As we walked, our arms brushed. My heart raced, every step heavy with a strange new feeling. At my door, I thanked him for the meal. I thought that would be the end. But he looked at me differently then. "Can I see you again?" he asked. My breath caught. Rich men didn't ask girls like me that question. But Adrian did. And in that moment, I felt both terrified and alive. That night changed everything. I didn't know it yet, but saying yes would drag me into a storm of love, anger, betrayal, and choices the tea would shape my future forever. Because a few weeks later, I would find myself staring at a pregnancy test. 2 pink lines. My hands shaking. My heart beating like thunder. And when I told Adrian, the man who had made me feel special, the man who said he cared, I thought he didn't want it. I thought he didn't want me. That's when I made the biggest decision of my life. The test shook in my hands. 2 pink lines stared back at me. I was pregnant. My chest tightened. My world spun. I sat on the cold bathroom floor, numb. What do I do now? I whispered. There was no answer. Adrian's face flashed in my mind. His smile. His warmth. His kindness that night. But also his world, rich, powerful, untouchable. Would he accept this? Would he even want me now? Would he want the baby? Fear crushed me. I thought of my mother. She struggled so much just to raise me. I couldn't bring another life into pain. Tears blurred my vision. I decided to hide it. At least for now. Days turned into weeks. Every morning, nausea hit me like a storm. I made excuses at work. I told my friends nothing. Adrian kept calling. He wanted to see me again. Sometimes, I said yes. We met for coffee, dinners, long walks. And every time, his kindness made me fall deeper. But inside, I carried a secret. A growing secret. A secret that scared me more each day. One evening, we sat in his car. City lights flickered outside. He held my hand. You seem different lately, he said softly. Are you okay? My heart raced. I wanted to tell him. I wanted to scream the truth. But fear sealed my lips. I'm fine, I lied. He looked at me, searching my eyes. But he didn't press further. When I got home, guilt ate me alive. I was lying to him. I was lying to myself. Nights became sleepless. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Should I keep the baby? Should I end it before he found out? Every answer hurt. Every thought tore me apart. I placed a hand on my belly. So small. So fragile. I whispered, I'm sorry. And in that moment, I made a decision. One that would change everything again. Adrian's calls grew more frequent. He wanted to see me almost every day. I kept making excuses. I'm busy with work. I'm tired. Maybe another time. But he wasn't blind. He noticed the changes. I had lost weight. My face looked pale. And every time we met, I pushed my food away. One evening, he surprised me. I walked out of work. And there he was. Leaning against his car. Going somewhere? He asked with a smile. My stomach dropped. I hadn't told him my schedule. He opened the car door. Come on. Let's get dinner. I tried to refuse. But his eyes, so full of care. I couldn't say no. At the restaurant, the smell of food hit me. Nausea twisted my stomach. I pushed the plate away. Adrian frowned. You barely eat anymore. I forced a smile. I'm not hungry. He leaned closer. Something's wrong, isn't it? My chest tightened. I wanted to break. I wanted to confess. But I shook my head. No. I'm fine. His jaw tightened. He didn't believe me. Later, he drove me home. The car was silent. His hand gripped the steering wheel. Mine trembled in my lap. When we stopped, he turned to me. Whatever it is, you can tell me. His voice was soft, patient. I nodded, but said nothing. I opened the door and hurried out. Tears stung my eyes. Inside my apartment, I broke down. The walls closed in. I whispered, I can't keep this secret forever. That night, my phone buzzed. A message from Adrian lit the screen. I don't know what you're hiding. But please, don't go through it alone. I hugged my pillow and cried. He cared. He really cared. But fear still chained me. And the secret inside me kept growing. Days passed. I avoided Adrian more. But he didn't stop calling. He didn't stop caring. One afternoon, I felt dizzy at work. The room spun. My knees buckled. And I collapsed. When I woke, I was in the hospital. Bright lights above me. A monitor beeped softly. And then, Adrian. Sitting right beside me. His eyes wide with worry. "You scared me," he whispered. I looked away. Tears filled my eyes. A nurse walked in. She checked the monitor. She smiled kindly. "You need rest," she said. "Both of you." Adrian's head turned. "Both?" he repeated. The nurse froze. Her eyes widened. "Oh. You didn't know?" Adrian looked at me sharply. His voice shook. "You're pregnant?" My lips trembled. I couldn't lie anymore. "Yes," I whispered. His chair scraped the floor. He stood quickly. "Pregnant." The word echoed in the room. He ran his hands through his hair. His chest rose and fell fast. "How long?" he asked. 3 months, I said softly. Adrian turned away. He walked to the window. Silence stretched between us. I wanted to vanish. I wanted to cry. Finally, he spoke. "And you didn't tell me?" "Why?" I gripped the sheets. "I thought you wouldn't want it." My voice cracked. "I thought you'd hate me." Adrian spun around. His face burned with anger. But his eyes, full of hurt. "You thought I wouldn't care?" His voice rose. "You thought I'd walk away?" I sobbed. "I didn't want to trap you." My hand shook. I was so scared. Adrian moved closer. He knelt beside me. His hand touched mine. "You should have told me." His voice was soft now. His eyes glistened. "This is my child too." His words pierced my heart. I cried harder. At last, the secret was out. But it was only the beginning. Adrian's face darkened. His jaw tightened. His eyes burned with fire. "You were going to kill it?" His words cut like knives. I froze. I thought. My voice broke. "I thought it was best." He slammed his hand on the table. "Best? For who?" The sound echoed in the room. Tears spilled down my face. "I didn't want you to hate me." I shook my head. "I didn't want to ruin your life." Adrian leaned closer. His voice low. "You almost ruined everything." The nurse rushed in. She told him to calm down. He stepped back. But his eyes stayed on me. "I could never forgive that," he said. His voice was harsh. I looked down. Shame filled me. He turned to leave. My heart stopped. Would he walk out forever? But then he paused. He looked back once. His lips pressed tight. "This isn't over," he whispered. And he walked out. That night, I cried myself to sleep. Fear choked me. Would he ever forgive me? The next day, he came back. His eyes were tired. Dark circles under them. He sat down quietly. Neither of us spoke. The silence was heavy. Finally, he said. "I didn't sleep." I looked at him. His hands trembled. "I kept thinking," he continued. "What if you had gone through with it?" His voice cracked. I whispered, "I couldn't. I couldn't do it." He looked at me sharply. "Why?" My tears spilled again. "Because deep down, I wanted it. I wanted our baby." His shoulders dropped. Relief washed over his face. But his anger still lingered. "You have no idea," he said, "how much this child means to me." I stared at him. You want it?" Adrian grabbed my hand. Yes. More than anything. For the first time, I saw the truth. He wasn't just furious. He was terrified too. Promise me, he whispered. You'll never hide something like this again. I nodded quickly. I promise. My voice shook. He kissed my hand gently. His eyes softened. But I knew. The storm wasn't over yet. Days passed. Adrian visited often. But something had changed. He was kind. He brought food. He checked on me. But his eyes stayed guarded. We no longer laughed. We no longer shared soft words. It felt like a wall between us. One evening, I asked, "Do you still love me?" My voice was small. He didn't answer right away. He looked down. He rubbed his temples. Finally, he said, "I do. But I'm hurt." Those words cut deep. I turned away. Silent tears fell. That night, I lay awake. I felt the baby move for the first time. A tiny kick. Hope flickered inside me. Maybe this little life could bring us back together. The doctor called us in. It was time for the first ultrasound. I lay on the bed. Adrian sat beside me. His hand clenched mine. The screen lit up. A small heartbeat flickered. "Your baby is strong," the doctor said. My chest swelled. Adrian's eyes softened. He leaned closer to the screen. "That's ours," he whispered. The nurse smiled. "Yes. Yours." A tear slid down his cheek. He quickly wiped it away. But I saw it. In that moment, the wall between us cracked. Just a little. When we left the hospital, Adrian placed his hand on my belly. His voice low, tender. "I'll protect you both. No matter what." For the first time in weeks, I believed him. And I smiled. The days grew lighter. Adrian stayed closer now. He called every few hours. He asked if I ate. He asked if I rested. One night, he came home late. I was sitting on the couch. He sat beside me. His eyes looked tired. "I was wrong," he said softly. "I should have trusted you. I almost lost you." Tears filled my eyes. I whispered, I was scared too. He took my hands. "I promise. Never again. I'll fight for you. For our child. For us." That night, we held each other. No anger. No distance. Just warmth. Months passed. The pregnancy grew harder. But Adrian never left my side. He went to every appointment. He read baby books. He painted the nursery. One evening, we sat in the rocking chair together. His hand rested on my belly. The baby kicked. Adrian laughed softly. "He knows me," he said. "He knows his father." I smiled through tears. The pain, the doubt, the fear. All of it felt worth it. The night our baby was born, Adrian cried the hardest. He kissed my forehead. He whispered, "You saved me. This family saved me." And in that moment, I knew love could break. It could bleed. It could nearly shatter. But if held with faith, it could also heal. Love is never perfect. It's tested. It's scarred. But the ones who stay, who choose each other again and again, that is the love worth living for. Thank you for watching this emotional love story on The Love Chapter by Aree. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more heart-touching stories. Tell us in the comments which country or place you are watching from. We'd love to know where our Family of viewers is growing. Around the world,